So a nice little SPY BB reversal play here this morning. A little bit late on my entry as I was waiting for data to drop at 9:45. But ultimately, really nice setup here on this sort of DTR signal reversal. So looking for a nice strong green candle open and then looking to buy that close after the first red candle. So got a nice weak red candle there, inside bar, decreasing volume. If you were to imagine that candle arrow or that body of that candle to be an arrow, that arrow is pointing up. So we're being told that we kind of got buyers kind of defending that zone, and then nice fat bands here. So looking for a good reversal. A little bit late on my entry, didn't get a ton of follow through here, and SPY ended up actually selling off rest of the day. But nice green trade to start the morning off, and happy with this outcome. Good risk management, scaled out nicely, and took a nice win. Yeah, it gives us a reason just to be a bit patient. Absolutely. I'd like to basically, I think the entry I'd want would be like a fake out. Right, if my volatility here or my stop loss here needs to be about, we'll call it 50 cents. If I could get a fake out under the lows and then for my entry price have like a 50-cent stop loss, I think that would be the best case scenario. Where it's like maybe a little bit of deja vu to the fake nuke bomb yesterday. If I get that little fake out entry, I think that's the best in this context. But the risk reward here is next level. So I didn't actually end up getting that little fake out entry, right? We had the news drop there at 9:45, and we had a really positive reaction to it right away. So the risk reward still justified me getting in at this point, and so that was where I looked for an entry. I was looking just to make sure that I wasn't going to get flushed. Wanted to sanity check this data, but ultimately I had no reason to then wait for that fake out. Pretty happy with this entry regardless, even though it was a bit late. Data came in fine. I've got no reason to be bearish here, guys, so I'm going to jump in on the SPY. So I am in, guys. Average price 417.53. So I just saw sellers get absorbed, right? Good reaction to that news narrative. So waited for a little bounce back. Got a little bit of slippage on my entry. Not the perfect price, but pretty much green right away. Didn't deal with too much stress here. Maybe could have gotten 10, 15 cents better, but ultimately not too much to complain about. Happy to be green. And to even get a little bit of separation here, a little bit maybe of a gross entry. Right, because it wasn't a super pullback entry or anything along those lines, but pretty much green right away. So let's even get a little bit of separation here to get to that risk-free. So if I could get like 417.75-ish, right? That would be sort of my first profit target. And then that'll be like my risk-free zone, and then I can hopefully get some further follow through that area. Yeah, I think we can get it. So really good volume pace, right? Which gave me confidence that I was going to get at least a little bit of follow through towards that first profit target, right? We're 2 minutes into this candle and already seeing sort of an increasing or near increasing volume pace. So these little pullbacks I wasn't too concerned about. Had some conviction this was going to give me a bit of follow through. But again, right, I like to manage my position sizing pretty well, just so when I get to that risk-free area before space become fake out proof, right? Like I don't want to have to force any trades. I don't have to force any decisions. I want to think about my position sizing. So happy to scale this out like 417.75 area, 20 cents from where we're at now. And just no need to get greedy, right? Once I get to that risk-free and have that lottery ticket, then I can be a lot more aggressive. But in the short term, my first obsession is getting to that risk-free zone. All right, so still looking for that first scale out here, but so far so good. Right, 417.75, right? That area is going to be my first profit target. 10 cents away, right? So we can get it. A little bit sticky. Don't like Apple making lower lows here. It's a little bit of a concern. But QQQ's behaving, telling me a consistent story. Tesla's absolutely ripping like a socio. There we go. 75 just hit, guys. I missed it. Wow. Okay, he's gonna get another attempt here. Push, push, push. 5 cents. Come on. 2 cents. Okay, there we go, guys. Took a little bit off there at that 417.75. Stop loss on my remainder here is now going to be at my entry price. And let's see if this thing can kind of give me a bit of further follow through. But great trade. That's 2 trades this week here where I've kind of missed that initial touch of my profit targets. So I need to start getting a little bit more prepared. It'll be a bit more cautious or paying attention to price action a little bit better as it approaches those zones. Because that can ultimately cost me money. So I need to stop making that little mistake. Just be a bit more prepared here as it hits those levels. I love Bollinger Bands. They're the best. Good volume on that breakout. So we can do enough to survive this little pullback here. Again, maybe the entry is a little bit rushed, right? A little bit chasey. Waiting for that news to drop, right? Once that news didn't flush the market, then it became you're kind of catching on the way up. So maybe that makes it a little bit harder to survive a pullback. But ultimately, I can't really complain here too much, right? Pretty tidy little win. So let's see if we can keep getting a bit of further follow through. I'd love to see if we could fill that gap at the very least towards like the 418 barrier. Nice. I mean, green is green. Hopefully you can get a bit of further follow through from there, Jason. If you get through that 418, that'll probably be the next scale out spot. Getting close. Okay, a few cents away. I'm going to take off a little bit more at that 418. Okay, there we go. So I'll close a little bit more off there at that 418.02. Now stop loss on my remainder is going to be still my entry price. But great trade, everybody. Great trade. So at this point here, I've scaled out of most of my position. I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative with how I'm managing these trades, just because there's still a lot of headline risk here this week, right? We got Fed minutes, we got the debt ceiling talks. I got no need to be like too aggressive holding out for mega wins. So I'll close more than half of my position by now and happy with the green trade. all good, Trevor, right? You felt like you needed to do it for a reason, right? You felt like you needed to practice, you needed to do X, Y, Z. So you did the right thing, man. Process over outcome, right? Process over outcome. Still not getting a super consistent narrative, right, on the index level. I don't like how some of these leading names are kind of giving me some kind of fucky behavior, for lack of a better term. But it's nice to see that Bollinger Band setup, right, playing out. Right, open up outside, decent green candle, bigger volume than the open, previous day's open, right? Then you kind of get that weak low vol pullback inside bar. This probably should have been the entry here, right? Buy at that close. But with that data dropping, it's a little bit nervy. And then this probably should have been the, the next entry. So I was probably about 25 cents away from a perfect entry here. I don't want to say I was chasing, but I was maybe just a little bit too cautious. But I'd rather wait for that headline to a certain extent and be wrong by, or not get flushed, right? Versus it be a little bit late, but have extra confirmation. Just a risk tolerance thing, but happy to be green here. Nice little ripper. Got less than half my position open. I love those Bollinger Bands. I love Bollinger Bands. They just tell me what kind of trade to look for, right? So you see how fat these bands are here? How they look like a beluga whale or something like that? That tells me that price has moved more than average, right? Like that the gap down here is more than a standard deviation away from what's average. So I know the type of trade I should be looking for, right? It tells me that I'm not looking for a breakdown. It means I'm looking for a reversal back towards the mean. So it just answers a lot of those questions for me where I have to think less. And then it gives me exactly where I need to, like what my profit target is, right? I know that if I'm entering from a trade outside the Bollinger Band, my profit target is the midline and then the top line. Now, top line may be a little bit unlikely, right? But it just gives me so much of that information. It plans out so much of my trade for me where I just have to then wait for the weak pullback basically, and I have all the information I need to be successful on this play. So that's why I love them. And honestly, I've been trading them for 10 years. So I'm so used to them that, it just gives me so much good context. So it can be a very, very powerful tool. So in hindsight, watching this back, we pretty much top ticked this. The high a day here on the SPY was 418.14. And after this sort of, rejection that we kind of just witnessed there, we pretty much saw price action sell off rest of the afternoon. Now, doesn't mean that this thesis was incorrect, but I didn't necessarily see the strongest of reaction from bulls, and they didn't reclaim those levels or those psych levels with that much enthusiasm. So we tried to fill that gap. We got most of it, but then we broke down, and so we weren't able to get that nice continuation narrative, or we didn't see that trending price action step back in. Bears were then able to reclaim control and kind of sell price action lower, but I was happy to be protecting an entry, happy to be nicely green, and there was no reason for me to do anything else here besides that. So nice little win, even though I didn't get as much follow through as I could have, but ultimately, I'm pretty happy with this process, so no real complaints on my end. Another example, right? First red candle after a green candle. My only concern is I wish that this red candle wasn't top wick bigger than the bottom wick, right? This arrow, it kind of looks like an arrow pointing down on pretty big volume. So not a huge expectation I'm going to get a ton of follow through on this AMD if I was to chase it. So I'd rather just stick to the SPY here for now. This feels like it's the better setup still. But yeah, nice to have this kind of coded up. Hopefully that visual helps you guys as well. And yeah, I love those Bollinger Bands. Oh, I just got stopped out protecting entry on that. Huh. Fuck. Whatever. I'll take it. Maybe it'll want to set up on the longer time frames here. But hey, I'll take it, guys. Nice little win. A little bit over $600. Happy days, right? On to the next one.